Recording, there we go.
Okay, am I on camera there, Mr. Burrow?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'm here with my good friend Michael Burrill on my property in Warren, Massachusetts on Crouch Road. And basically we're here to memorialize my what happened to me today and for me to explain some things, what happened to me while I was running for selectman this year. I ran for 3 years selectman and 5-year planning board, okay, and I was on the ballot, so I figured, you know, I might as well. I'm gonna stop for 1 second here, so but you can see that I'm disabled, okay. I work construction all my life, and you see I have a beautiful piece of property here on Crouch Road in Warren, Massachusetts, surrounded by like 500 acres, okay. I moved out here 30 years ago, and the reason I moved out here is because of that geology, okay. Minding my own business for about 25 years, and then once I got disabled about 3 years ago, little by little my joints are, plus I have health issues, I have heart issues, I have, anyways. I put my life into this town in Warren, Massachusetts, okay. I ran for selectman 3 times, okay. Now I'm going to give you this perspective from Brian Corriveau's mouth, okay. And I'm going to memorialize this, what's going on in this town, okay. And without doubt, it is the most corrupt town in Massachusetts, without question. I worked in every, I pulled permits from one end of the state to the other, to the New York border, in construction for 40 years, and I've seen a lot of towns. And this town is the most corrupt town in Massachusetts, without question. I've been fighting that, okay? I've been fighting that since I ran for selectman 3 years ago, and I paid a very, very heavy price for it, including actually getting more disabled than I already am, thanks to Officer Von Dauber and Officer Romani, who assaulted me at the Shepherd Building on May 2nd, okay? So anyways, me and my disabled friend were campaigning at the Shepherd Building, and I'm going to start the story off from the beginning, folks, okay, because you're going to love this, okay. I'm going to move back one day, okay, May 1st, 2017. That was the day before the election in Warren, Mass, okay. Now, Michael, please show them this banner that I got hanging here.
Sure.
And what color paint would you say that is, Michael?
It looks like gold.
You're 1000% correct. It's gold, okay?
Gold paint.
Yes, sir. Okay. So I had not. I had mind my own business. I didn't want nothing to do for the town hall for a couple of months. So Sarah sends 2 officers to my personal property here, okay? On the day before the election. That would have been May 1st, okay? We're gonna go this way now, Michael. We're gonna go this way, okay? I'm in my. You can see, Michael. Show them the privacy here, this driveway, okay? So I want to explain to these people what they did to me, okay? So we're gonna keep coming here, and it was the day before the election this year, May 1st, 2017, okay? I'll show you what happened here. And I have a disabled wife, okay, that these punks have been harassing me. A disabled wife, okay. The reason I'm making this video, people, is I'm looking for some lawyer who's made enough money, who wants to pay back a little bit and help this corrupt, disgusting town of Warren, Massachusetts. That's why I'm making this video, okay. So here's the thing. This ain't about me, okay. It was the day before the election, and I'm in the kitchen cooking some beans, and I hear, okay, I'm like, okay, that's definitely not Jehovah Witnesses. So anyways, I come running to the door, not running, but I mean, it took me a couple of minutes because I was in the kitchen and I'm disabled. And I look out my window, okay, because I don't know who to, you know. But anyway, so I look over there, and there's Officer Millette, okay, about over there, about 20 feet over there on the grass, with his hand on his 9mm revolver, okay? Okay, so I open the door, and he comes running up, and he's like, hey, Brian, we're not trying to give you a hard time. Then I look, okay, down there, blocking my driveway, Officer Von Dauber, okay? Sitting in his, used to be Spakowski's vehicle, blah, 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 whatever. So he comes running up, and I come out, you know, and, you know, what's up, you know, and Von Dauber says something like, we're not trying to give you a hard time, we're not trying to give you a hard time, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, so why are you here? And something, he said something in regards to something about some paint on a tree down at the end of the road. I says, oh, okay, I don't know, you know, nothing about that, but, you know, I'll go rub the paint off or whatever. And so, but here's the thing, folks. They trespassed on my property. Von Dauber don't give a shit about a human being. He don't give a shit about a tree, okay? The guy's a punk. He's a punk. So he trespassed, trying to intimidate me on my property with Millette, because they don't have enough brains in their head to tell Chief Spirakowski to go blank himself. So, but here's the thing. This ain't funny, folks. This ain't funny at all. So Von Dauber's in his cruiser there with his AR-15 or whatever the hell he's got. He comes up, blah, 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 blah. He's like, oh, he gets out of the car. Oh, we're admiring your car, your jack stands on your car, Brian. Okay. Keep in mind they were here because Rebecca and Sarah sent them here to find out what the hell I was doing for the next day. And this is how they screw everybody in this town, making up their bullshit and their lies. And there's a lot of people in this town that are in prison because of these corrupt sons of bitches. So anyways, he says, yeah, okay, so they're done joking, blah, blah, blah. They're all in a good mood. And they're walking back, and Von Dauber says, what are you doing for tomorrow? I think, oh, geez, that's why they came. They're spying on me because Rebecca and Sarah sent them. This ain't rocket science, people, but I'll tell you what. This is our freedom here, people. This is our freedom, okay? Now, okay, and so that's fine. So that was the day before, okay? So the next day, my buddy and I, now I've been up for 2 days in a row working to try to campaign for this town to run in for selectmen and planning board. I'm tired. I'm tired. I've been up for a couple of days. I kind of like brushed off why the two cops trespassed on my property until the next day when it really sunk into my head. Me and my buddy set up a little pop-up tent at the Shepherd building. Just to the left of the sign. He's disabled vet too. Served in this. He served in the Navy for 4 years. He got wounded in the Navy, and he loves his country very much. And he was also assaulted and harassed because he happened to be there helping me campaign for my election. He's my best friend for like a long time. So no sooner we got the tent popped up because it was raining, we sat down, and Laurie, the assistant clerk, comes out, and she's the first one that harassed me that day, before the day when the whole police department harassed me and trespassed. So this is now, folks. This is on voting day, and I'm trying to campaign to help this town. And so Laurie comes out, the assistant clerk. No doubt Nancy Lowe said, go harass Corriveau. Okay, so, you know, these are my opinions. You don't like it, whatever. My instincts are dead on, okay? And not only are they instincts, I have, it's all mathematics and science, and I'm doing public records requests, proving all the corruption in this town. The money that they said they spent on the town hall wasn't spent on the town hall. So, but we're going to stick with what they did to me for election day. Okay, so that was, Laurie comes out, I says, okay, so that 40-foot banner over there, I moved it about 8 feet, and she goes in, okay, banner's far enough away. So me and my disabled friend, okay, let's just, you know, calm down and do our campaigning. And then, so an hour later, Nancy Law comes out, okay, with Officer Millette, who's the one that trespassed on my property the day before, okay, and harassed me with the biggest punk of a cop I've ever seen, Von Dumbass, okay. So that was the day before. So let's see, where was I? Anyway, okay, so here we go. So Nancy Law comes out with the highway surveyor and Officer Millette, okay. Officer Millette's in uniform, okay. This is what you people have to understand. The whole police department was swarming around there. You know, I don't think an aircraft carrier could have got to that ballot box, okay? Figure it out, people. Figure it out. This town is so 100%, 1000% corrupt, they control everything. They take your money, they control everything. And they're so stupid, you get nothing in return, okay? And I can go on for that for hours and hours. So Nancy Lowell and Officer Millette said to me, Officer Millette, you're too close. I says, okay. I says, help me drag this pop-up tent across the street. Officer Millette helps me drag the pop-up tent across the street. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm been up for 2.5 days now straight, working to help this town of Warren to supposedly, which I know now 100,000%, it's a joke for me to even run, because it's you know, figure it out. So no sooner did we get the tent across the street, and the highway surveyor spray paints a line across the entrance to the Shepherd building, and he says, and so Nancy Law says, oh geez, Officer Millette, we're sorry, he was far enough away. I says, well, hey, I'm disabled here. I'm going to just stay across the street and, you know, and forget that you've been harassing me, and all these other people sitting right here in the same spot. You're not harassing them, but you're harassing me. So, but I'm going to stay across the street, and so I was, the day before, I was cooking some hot dogs and beans for me and my friend, and on the day of the election, I was taking donations for Second Chance Animal Shelter, okay? So, basically after, and Millette saw the hot dogs, I asked him if he wanted a hot dog, blah, 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 we joked around, he went back in, and I figured that was the end of it. So, so that wasn't the end of it, folks. So, a couple hours later, I see Von Dumbass coming running out with Romani, and Dumbass puts something in my face and says, you got to pack everything up and get out of here. Now I'm in a lot of pain, folks, okay, and I can't even explain. So my buddy, you know, really hell of a nice guy. He went over to Haiti and donated his life and time for help those people. He spent time in the service. He's known me a long time, but so he goes in the car with the little doggy, and we had a little dog, and he's praying on the Bible. Meanwhile, Von Daber is in my face ordering me to do this, do this, do this, pick this up, pick that up. And then I hear Leona, who used to own the spa, thinks she's going to be 80 years old. God bless her. She's a prominent citizen in this town. Officer for Dumbass didn't even know who she was, no, folks. Now, he's a detective in this town. He doesn't know who Leona is. And he says, ma'am, get in your car and go. And basically threatening her. And she's like, don't you got nothing better to do than harass this guy? And obviously, Von Daber's like foaming at the mouth, you know. And so basically, after all this was done, we picked up and left and also in the process, I haven't been able to walk at all since May 2nd, okay, when Von Daber and Romani, that's when I twisted something into my sciatic nerve. Very, very painful. Very, very painful. I spent thousands of dollars to help this town, and I'm looking for somebody who wants to say, hey, I can tell you some sick stories in this town, but I'm going to leave it with that, okay? And so I'm physically disabled from these people on election day, okay, and harassed. And the assault, folks, if you Google the legal term for assault, if you're in imminent fear of your life, okay, and there's nothing that scares me more than somebody that with the brain power that Von Daber has with a gun on him. I mean, so yeah, I was in imminent fear in my life twice, or maybe like even more, like 4 times in the 2 days I was running for selectman to help this town. So we got assault, and I'm telling you right now, I will be. So we need somebody, like I said, an attorney that hopefully a criminal and a civil that wants to help this town of Warren. And that's enough for tonight. And Michael, have I been dead on with everything I've said, sir?
I would think so. I do have a question. So the question is it in your opinion that Officer Millette or any of the officers, did they put their hands on you to while you were moving this equipment or touch you in
No, he was yelling at me like, get going, move,
Oh,
get it done. And also my buddy who's disabled, he was trying to help me. Now he's got a leg, he got blown apart on an aircraft carrier. He's had back surgery. Folks, I've been disabled for 3 years because my joints are, but I was getting around okay up until that incident. I guess I twisted something, okay, and it's shooting into my sciatic nerve.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, folks.
And and those alleged issues that you're having now, this was all specifically a direct result of you moving the table and the stress and everything from Officer Von Daber and everything else.
The whole day, all of it.
Right.
All the harassment from the town employees.
Yeah. And in your opinion, where you had set up the table, because there was no sign that said, hey, you can't set up a table. So do you think you were basically targeted as an individual, that other people could have done the same thing what you had and it would have been fine, and that they just specifically targeted you and wanted you to take the table down and do all that stuff?
That's absolutely correct. They only harassed me. And if you replay it, you'll see when I said that, okay? Because Leona was sitting there campaigning for the treasurer, and in the exact same spot. And I'm going to believe me, I could, I'm not going to, my buddy's phone number and stuff, I'm not going to release it on YouTube, okay? But all of this stuff is, so then they falsified of course, the most corrupt town in Massachusetts, the corrupt police department, Officer LaFlower, okay, so-called sergeant, and the other one, I don't want to say his name because it's going to make me want to throw up. He would be the chief, okay? And this other lady, Pensinger, yeah, she's the brain surgeon there. She's like the Rebecca for the police department, right? So they give me the, so I said, okay, called up Spakowski. I says, I go to, give me the reports, it's a public record, blah, blah, blah. So he actually sent me them, but he sent one that's like revised by Pensinger, okay?
Oh, so Dispatcher Pensinger
So you're not gonna
edited the content to what she wanted it to say, in other words.
Right. So,
so in other words, so she would be personally responsible for if the information in the report was not true and accurate, then she would basically could be charged with falsifying a police report, in my opinion, as well.
Absolutely. And the thing of it is I told LaFlower, I says, look, I went there and I says, I don't want this revised stuff, okay? I want the truth, and I'm telling you, this is the most disgusting, despicable thing I can stand, okay? that they can do this to people, okay, and not give the truth, okay? And you've got the three present corrupt scumbags, okay? Dario Nardi, okay? Mark Richards, okay? He works for the accountant, okay? Mark Richards pumps gas for the accountant, okay? So I do public records requests and I say, where did that $200,000 go into the town hall, right? So believe me, they got control of everything. All your they got control of your money, okay? And I've been here for 30 years, and I remember when Delansky, one of the biggest morons that ever lived in this town, except for the next biggest one, we'll say Bob Downing. Let's just put it this way. I ain't saying nothing about nothing, but when Downing was a selectman, the budget was about $400,000 in the Board of Health. He was a selectman, he was the head of the Board of Health, and a couple other things. And every time I go see a selectmen's meeting, Delansky is pummeling money into the Board of Health. Every single one. You can go back, look at these records. This ain't brain surgery, people. This ain't brain surgery, okay? And the whole dump situation, that's all a big scam. But I'm going to prove all of this stuff with mathematics and numbers and records requests. I'm looking for somebody that wants to help Warren, because obviously, and I'm just trying to make it known what's going on, people, okay? And God bless you, and God bless us all.